once again, and welcome to another Kaiso Talk. It's Wednesday evening, and that's when we talk Kaiso, everything Kaiso. And of course, we're getting ready for the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert. That is happening on Sunday, November 9th from 5 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center. So I trust that you've gotten your tickets and you are ready, because we have a heavy local contingent. Yes, indeed. 10 local acts will be performing for you, including the man in studio with me right now, Mr. Kelly Klein, Rootsman Kelly. And I have some talk to Kelly tonight, but early for that. So it's a good time. Val is here as well. And of course, we welcome all our viewers on GBN Television 711, our friends on our Facebook page, that's GBN Live, and YouTube channel, and also our listeners on K105 FM. Val, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Godfrey, and good evening, Rootsman. Always good to be on GBN again for Kaiso Talk. So welcome to Grenada, welcome to the people in Cairo and PT Martinique, and all of the Windward where this program is being heard.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So the man himself, two-time Calypso Monarch, Soca Monarch, Roadman. No, you never went Soca Monarch. Kelly, good evening. How are you doing, man?
Good evening, Godfrey.
Come a little closer to your mic. You know, folks, he's the gentle giant. When he's talking, you can't hear what he's saying, but put him on a stage and everything changed. Yeah, man. So how are things, man?
Good, you know.
All right. We're getting ready for Legends in Concert.
Yeah, you know, Legends in Concert has become the type of show that every Calypsonian strive to be a part of.
Right.
You know, it's like all years you're knocking to get into the Marga show, and finally this year Rootsman gets you to be.
Well, look, let me tell you, I usually say to Calypsonians, if you have not been on the Legends in Concert, it's just that you've not been on yet. Because of course we can't have everybody on at the same time. So it's just a matter of time, you know, and every Calypsonian definitely will have the opportunity at some point or the other, you know, and Legends in Concert is here to stay. Whether I'm there or not, it has to continue. It's beyond me. It's Kaiso and more Kaiso. So yeah, definitely. So, Kelly, before we gonna talk Legends, but we had to talk about Kelly first. We never had Kelly on the program to talk Kaiso. So let's start from the start. Let's start with Kelly Klein first. With Kelly Klein.
A humble servant of God and of the people, born and grew in a small village of Pomrose in St. David. And that is where I was really grounded in Calypso music, because I think the only junior Calypso tent out of Grenada came from Pomrose, to be precise, to be exact, called the Pioneers.
Right.
Kaiso
yes.
Pioneers.
Yes, I've heard about it. I've heard about it. And you were part of that?
No, I wasn't part of the Pioneers tent, but I used to be a writer for the tent.
Okay.
I used to be composing for some of the upcoming Calypsonians that used to be performing in that tent. You know, but you know, Pomrose is a cultural place. You know, I got involved through my teachers putting me on stage to mash up the assembly. You know, and I was registered in my first junior Calypso competition. That was in, I think it was somewhere around 1980 or 81, you know.
Yeah?
That time I was very young.
That was a long time ago.
Very, very young. You know, you're surprised I'm almost my 70 now?
Nah, man. Hey, just keep in mind. Anytime you start thinking that, just remember the mighty sparrow. Age is just a number. So.
Right, so, you know, and that year, I was beaten by my good friend Basie. You know Basie was a Calypsonian?
Basie? What?
Basie, that was the Mighty Switch.
The Mighty
Switch.
Well, look at that. You know? Look Basie at won. That.
And I remember Mr. West came third.
Right.
And I came fourth. That was my very first year in national competition.
Right.
You know, I came back in 82 and won the Junior Monarch. And in 83 as well. So I won the Junior Monarch in 1982 and 1983.
Yeah, okay.
And that's where my journey started in the Calypso world.
Right. But as a young man growing up in Pomerose and being around the tent, what about Kaiso that kind of drew you to it?
Well, remember back in the days, Calypso was the main genre that Grenadian people especially used to listen to.
You're right.
You know, especially Calypsos from Trinidad, you know, with the Mighty Sparrow and Kitchener and Blue Boy and all, you know, and my family, my mom especially, was an ardent listener of Calypso music. Right. She knew every Calypso, she knew every Calypsonian, you know, and she was the person who used to compose for me.
Serious?
At a very early age, yeah. You know, she together with her cousin of mine, Jacob Senmanad. You know, they used to write the songs for me. You know, and I perform it in the school.
Right.
You know, so yeah, that's where I started off.
Very interesting. Val, did you hear that? His mom used to compose for him.
Right. He is not the first number. I remember like someone like Ricky Jai. Of course, he is doing chutney, and his mother was very instrumental in helping him to compose those chutney songs and so on. So that you know, the moms are there. You know, very, very instrumental in you know, people's development. Right. And of course, he had a cousin. You know, so it's a family business, and like Scholar, whose father, I guess, is the person, you know, so that you have those people who are coming through generations of talent. So it manifests in every generation differently, and of course, I guess with Kelly, he is the youngest of that generation to take it to another level.
Right.
So, you know, well done to his mom and cousin.
Yes. In fact, this year in one of his very, very popular songs, I know he paid heavy tribute to his mom. So definitely one can understand the appreciation for what was done then, molding him into a now two-time Calypso monarch, and I know he has more to go. But Kelly, so coming from your junior monarchs and the journey continued, let's talk about that. How was it for you throughout those years? As you became older, as you grew, as you continued to compose and sing, you know, how was the journey for you?
Well, after the junior era, you know, I was in competition for probably about 2 more years, and then I stepped aside from performing, from singing. You know, I used to be more in the background, helping with the junior tent, composing, you know, and helping out other artists. I remember I stayed away from Calypso and from competition. And as a matter of fact, from almost every other genre of music except the Nyabingi church music for over 25 years. You know, because remember, I've been involved in the Rastafari community. And, you know, I was a member of the let's call it the Rasta Church in Grenada. You know, so I'd step aside from the music, from the, let's call it the secular music for all these years.
Right.
I came back singing Calypso music in 2013. You know, that time I just came from Venezuela. I did a recording in Venezuela, and when I came back, you know, I used to be collabing with Natty Nuclear Dread. That's the father of Lil Natty.
Yes.
And you know, he was just opening the little studio, so I had access to recording, and so I recorded a few songs, not for competition, just, you know, for the enjoyment of the music. And when some of the people listen to the music, you know, they really encouraged me to get back into Calypso in a serious way.
Right.
You know, and that's when I decided, you know what, I think I should make a return, and came back in 2013. You know, I went straight to the final in 2013, and I placed 5th.
Right.
You know, in 2014, I had two really nice songs in my opinion. One was called Gambler Shall
Yes,
Grow.
I remember that song very. In fact, that's when I got to know Kelly as a Calypsonian.
And the same song again. And that year, I was standby in the March Grand. I think that's the year that really made me who I am, because the people really cried out, you know, on my behalf. You know, such two good songs, well put together, and why this man
Was left out
of the final. So, you know, the following year in 2015, I decided, you know what, I have to come back and make a serious impact. And I was in the final again and played second
Right.
in 2015, second also in 2016, and in 2017 I won my
You
first
did it.
national title.
Yes. I remember it. I remember it so very well.
Yeah.
So very well indeed. Val, I'm sure listen to Kelly, the story is familiar, especially from a Trinidad perspective. You know, having two great songs, and I remember those songs very well because they were unique, and it was out there. And then you hear Kelly did not make the final, and then there's the outcry from the public.
Yes. So that what we do have is a very knowledgeable public. You know, you normally say that every Trinidadian, every Grenadian can judge, but clearly that with people who have been listening to Calypso for many years, you know, Kelly talked about his St. David beginnings, and from this program alone, you know, I can definitely say that St. David is very instrumental in terms of a number of the Calypsonians emerging out of that area. So it seems to be one of those communities that have produced a number of the local talent. And when one has creditable work and the public hears it, and that work does not probably produce the kind of results that people expect, then there's a hue and cry that something is wrong. So, and that says or speaks volume for the artist, because here it is that you have the public demanding justice, demanding answers as to why this person with the caliber of songs did not go all the way. They didn't say that he's supposed to win.
Right.
They're just making noise in terms of they feel something is amiss. Right? This song should have been into the final, and it would have made the final so much better. And the competition and so on, so that they stand up for justice, and that is really good, you know. And you hope that the public would always be as knowledgeable and stand up for justice when they feel that injustice is meted out to the artist.
Yeah.
So that is a very good beginning for Kelly.
Right. Indeed. But Kelly, let me ask you that though. I mean, you said earlier that you're part of the Rastafarian church and all of that. And we know once we speaking Rastafarianism, of course, reggae music is the genre that comes into play. Why not reggae? Why calypso?
Well, in Grenada, you know, the emphasis is not really on reggae and dancehall. I mean, yes, we could do reggae, but if we don't go international, then, you know, you spend your money to go to studio for the arranger, for every other thing, and you don't get an income from it. You know, so if you're looking to make money out of the music, which is one of my main focus.
Well, of course. I mean, this is what
I treat this as a business. You
say that as though you no, this is a profession. That's what you do. It's a profession. Yeah.
You know, so I decided to focus more on calypso and soca too, because I normally just compose soca for some artists, even some of the biggest names in soca music. You know, I even was in the groovy one time myself.
Yes, I remember. The Fet. Yes.
I was in the groovy final, you know. Yeah, so, you know, because of the market The market that we have, especially in Grenada, is mainly for calypso, soca, and groovy. But don't get me wrong, I recorded 12 reggae songs in London in 2016.
And what happened to them? I never get them. I never.
Right, none of the songs is released yet. None of the songs, because we had to do the final mix and the mastering and so, so probably.
So we could look out for that.
You could look out for it.
All right.
I recorded 12 really nice reggae songs in London in 2016.
Well, we're looking forward to getting that. Yeah. So anything you want to throw at Kelly before we, Yeah,
I mean, he has such a nice, colorful story that came into the calypso, junior, writing for people before stepping onto the stage, and then taking a hiatus, going into the Rastafarian community, and spending many years not participating, and then emerging again onto the calypso scene. So, Kelly, how did you reconcile which you still wear it, the Rastafarianism and this cultural thing called calypso? How did you reconcile that? You stay away for a number of years at the beginning, and you come back. How you reconcile coming back and Rasta in calypso and all of that kind of thing? Tell me that story.
There is no growth without change, and vice versa. No change without growth. Anyway, yeah. Rastafari will always be a part of me. It's embedded deep within me, and also calypso music. Because I grew up in a Rasta community, and I grew up in a community that love and appreciate calypso music as well. I took a lot of time off, a lot of years from the secular life in general, not just pertaining to the music, but my whole lifestyle was totally different. If you know anything about Roots, man, you could have referred to me as a priest.
Right.
So, well, some people still do refer to me as not as a so-called Christian priest or so, a Catholic priest or Anglican priest, but as a Nyabingi priest.
So you're Nyabingi and not 12 tribe.
Yeah, of course. Because
but what's the difference though? What's the difference? I mean, just.
Well, within my father's house are many mansions. It's just like within the Christian community, you have the Pentecostal, you have the Berean, you have the Catholic, you have the Anglican. Likewise, within the Rastafari movement, you have the Nyabingi, you have the 12 tribe, you have the Bobo Shanti, and many more emerged over the years. So yeah, I grew up around some of my close relatives who were also was really strong into the Rastafari movement.
I know Kelly, he wears his dreads and everything, but I never realized you were so in depth into the religion of Rastafarianism.
Yeah, well, remember Prince Nana?
Yes.
Once you talk about Rasta, you talk about Nyabingi in Grenada, I mean, it's imperative that we speak of Prince Nana.
Yes, definitely. I mean, he was the man.
So he and I was really, really good. And for over 5 years, I played the role of the table man or the chairman, if you want to call it that. In the house, organizing, the different gatherings, taking care of the transport and the food and everything pertaining to the Nyabingi movement.
Right. Okay. So when you have, because I remember very well, a lot of times I would hear about Rastana. When you have the gatherings, and I don't know the name of the gatherings, but you'd have the gatherings where you'd have all the members come together. You would sing the chant, and everything that goes with what has been done. But I did not realize that you were. But this is very.
Well, as a matter of fact, the tabernacle. One of the biggest tabernacle Grenada ever had was in my premises, in my yard home.
But look at that.
We had Rastas coming from all over the world. Trinidad, Jamaica, Ethiopia, England, Germany, name it. And Rastas used to come and congregate right at my home. That's where the tabernacle was.
Right.
You know, the structure, the tabernacle itself, church,
I understand.
was located in my yard. You know, and
so Kelly, how has, I mean, Rasta, in terms of the writing and your focus, how has Rastafarianism influenced your subject matter and so on, in terms of being a Calypsonian, a writer of groovy and soca songs and so on? How has Rastafarianism influenced your writing?
In a very positive way, because if you listen to my lyrics, even if I would delve into the soca music, you would definitely get something positive out of it. It would have a meaning. And not just a meaning, but something that would be able to uplift somebody, you know. Check out all my songs. It's only in 2022 I started singing a little bit of politics, you know, and that was just after the election, you know. And something that I noticed during the election, instead of addressing the issues at hand, it was just like a big comedy show. You know? Every politician wanted to get a laugh from the people, you know. And when I sang that song and I realized how Grenadians love politics.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, because when I see the reception that this song was getting, you know, the following year I decided to sing another song in 2023, a song There Is Nothing, and won the Calypso Monarch. But prior to 2022, all my songs most of them would be biblically based. Most of the songs were biblically based. Take for instance, when I came back on the scene, remember the first song had so many Bible verses, you know. And thereafter, you know, everything used to be biblically based. So that's the influence from the Rastafarianism.
Okay. Excellent indeed. This is so interesting because, like I said, I am like surprised. You know Kelly, you see Kelly around. I mean, most people in Grenada, they would wear the dreads, except fellas like me who wear nothing on the head. But you know, just getting to understand and realize, you know, how deep he is into that is really, really, really interesting. And in addition to that, a calypso, and now you can actually make the connection because I'm familiar with a lot of his songs. You have songs like Judicial Imbalance, you have songs like Gambler Shall Mourn, you have songs like The World Song. There was a song he did, I think it was in 2017, where he addressed the issue of child rape and all of these things and won the crown with that. So a lot of his songs have been filled with heavy messages. What we would normally call Val, big lyrics kind of thing. You know, those heavy messages. Yeah. Now that you're hearing the story, you're getting to have a better understanding of, you know, where all of this is coming from.
I was also influenced by certain Calypsonians from the Rastafari community as well. For instance, Valentino and he passed away, Leroy Kelly's
Black Stallion.
You know, even Valentino used to visit me here in Grenada. Valentino used to come home, me in the tabernacle here in Grenada. You know, and we used to vibe, and so all these men, I suck from the energy, you know, and that's where you hear some of the similarities. Because even myself, I just listen some of the melodies within my song, and I could definitely hear Black Stallion about there.
Fet to fet, of course. Fet to fet is the reverse to Black Man Filling the Party. So I mean, well done, and you know, excellent piece of work. Definitely. So, but you were going to ask something, Val?
Yeah, well, a number of things. One, when I hear Kelly, Kelly, you have worked with Ajamu also, right?
Ajamu for
Kelly?
For a lot of years. You know, I was part of the tent. Part of the Kingman tent. Yeah,
Right,
we worked together
right.
for many years.
Because there are some, I don't know if it's phrases, if it's the music arrangement, but I can hear the influence. You mentioned Valentino and Stalin, but there is somewhere inside of there I hear Ajamo. So tell me about that relationship with Ajamo and how he has influenced your music.
Jamo and I go way back. You know, I remember the first time I met Jamo was in the school band. We used to have a band in St. David Secondary School. Mm-hmm. And although he wasn't attending the school at the time, but he was very closely aligned with the bass player who named Sligo.
Right.
You know heard about Sligo?
Yes.
The really one of the greatest bass players of our time. You know, so from the days of the school band, we were able to influence one another. You know, I started singing before Ajamo, you know. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah,
I started entering Calypso competition before Ajamo because remember
Ajamo would have been I remember the Ajamo from I think it would have been what 85, 86 when he placed second to Smokey. Mm-hmm. That's when I first heard about the Ajamo.
He was always one of the most talented musicians that I have ever known. Mm-hmm. You know, on the guitar, on the bass, on the keyboard, whatever instrument you put in front of him, you know, he's able to play that. And of course, I took in some of his energy as well, because when you listen to this sweet, melodious way he does put his songs together, you know, something I always wanted to do was to have that kind of sweetness in the song, you know. Even though I always try to take from the best. Even Scholar, you know, people say, "Roots man, you never used to sing politics, so you're singing politics now."
you win with politics
because yes, I look at people like Scholar who've been winning with politics all the years, and then you know put that together with the love that Grenadians have for politics. I mean, come on, man.
But let me tell you, let me tell you this here about Scholar. You know that is not necessarily true, right? If you look back at Scholar, and I guess because of his style, he is branded as the Calypsonian who sings politics. But if you go back and look at his 11 crowns, you would get to realize that out of that 11 crowns, maybe 3 or 4 of those songs are actually political songs. A lot of people don't realize that, but it is a fact. Okay. It is a fact. It's a fact. But of course, he's known for his hard-hitting political commentaries.
And mind you know, all of us real tight, eh? You know, people just think that Squala and I have beef.
What
it's nothing like that. Eh? It's not that's my partner. When we meet. And same thing like Ajamo. Ajamo and I, you know, really close. Scholar and I really close. As a matter of fact, I don't think I have any issue with any Calypsonian whatsoever in Grenada. You know, when it comes to competition, I might put in a line here or there.
But you're supposed to.
For the sake of the pecan, because you know, I'm in a competition and I'm trying to win. You know, but put that aside, I'm the coolest dude on the block.
Yes, yeah. That I have to agree with. that I have to agree with. Definitely. So Kelly, yeah, Val.
Yeah, one other thing, Ruth. It seems that you have placed a number of seconds. How many second place have you amassed so far?
It's a lot. Let me see. I didn't really, but I placed second in 2015, second in 2016. I placed second in 2022. I placed second in 2025.
There was no carnival. What about in 2019?
20 and 21, there wasn't any carnival.
Right, but 2019.
2019, I remember I won the crown in 2017. I didn't.
You lost in 18.
I lost in 18, and I didn't even make it to the final in 2019. And that's since I started singing Calypso and making it into the final. 2019 was the only year I didn't make it to the final.
Right.
2019. Right. That's the year when Sauce up and one.
Yeah. Right.
So you have about 4 or 5 seconds, please. Yeah. That says something.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, let me ask you this. And I remember some years ago I asked Kroko that very same question. So with all these second places, all right, you ever thought that well, you're not saying that they rob, but you ever figured that they probably have a little bit more money for you still?
Well, probably 2 or 3 years when I came second. For 2022, I thought I won.
Right.
That's the only year that after my performance, I thought that I had won the crown. Because, I mean, no disrespect to who won at that year.
That was the Polycomedian, right?
That was Polycomedian.
Yeah.
Polycomedian and World Song. You know, because I thought that year the competition was between myself and Sopant,
right.
To be honest. You know, I mean, no disrespect to the judges, no disrespect to not taking away anything from the king.
From anybody else, for that matter. Yeah.
But that's one of the years that I thought that I had won. And another year when I thought I did very well was the year when I sang well, good for the goose is good for the gander.
Judicial imbalance.
Judicial imbalance. I came second. That was in, I think it was 2015.
That was 15, yes.
2015.
That was 15.
So I thought I had won that year as well.
So you figured they have a lot of money for you for 2015?
Well, they could still, it's not too late. Money don't expire. You know?
They owe you all something.
Money don't expire.
Right, definitely.
You know, I remember I also won 3 independence
yes,
back to back.
Yes.
3 titles back to back. That was 16, 17, and 18. And I came a number of seconds too in that competition.
Right.
Independent competition. Yeah.
Right. Definitely. So the journey continues. Yeah. Go Val.
Yeah. So Kelly, I probably ask a number of people here on this platform, what is the process in terms of writing? Is it, well, I know your influence, still by Rastafarianism and so on, and keeping it clean and all of that. But the process in terms of, is it melody first? Is it a topic? Is it a feeling, a mood? What drives Kelly to compose? What is his process?
This thing comes in so many different ways. There is no format. No. I teach Calypso, and whenever I teach, I put a format in order to teach Calypso.
Right.
What I tell the students to do is to find a hook line, and then try to sing that hook line. Then you could add something before the hook line, you could add something after the hook line, just to build on the chorus, which should form the core part of the song. I don't compose like that. I personally does not compose. Would you imagine I would get a line way down in probably the second verse, way down in the song, and I would use that to build a song.
Right.
Sometimes the melody would come first. Sometimes the lyrics would come first. You understand?
So just once it hits you,
it hits me, because sometimes when I look back at some of the songs that I compose, I don't even remember when I composed these songs, how I composed it, and anything like that. So it's like I just received these songs. I just happen to be able to capture it. But these songs will just be given to me. I might wake up in the middle of the night and I just hear something going on in my spirit and ringing in my head. I might pull up my phone and just record it before, because if I don't do that by morning,
you forget
I forget it.
No, very interesting. I mean, and I guess everybody has their own unique way of getting the ideas.
And it's years I don't write. Years I don't put pen to paper and write a song. It's a lot of years. I will just compose in my brain, bit by bit, put it together, add to it, put it together until the song is fully composed.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Kelly. I mean, you're a seasoned competitor in the March Gras and all of that. But how is it for you on competition night? So you selected, you go through the different rounds, preliminary, semi-final, and of course you're into the final, and you're getting yourself ready for the March Gras, the big night. And of course, you know some of the big names, the Scholar, the Serpent, all the guys who are there, great contenders. How is it for you on the night when you're getting ready to go out there and actually compete, deliver your song, the intent of putting out your very best and being announced the winner? How is it for you?
Well, it's as natural as how you and I speak right now. I don't know anything about butterflies and that nervousness and that tense kind of feeling that I see some Calypsonians experiencing backstage. And it's a teamwork, it's a whole teamwork, because if you notice, the same people that work with me this year is people that have been working with me all throughout the years. My same props, my same backup vocalists, the same set of people. I build a team, and you have to be loyal to your team. Pay the people when they work for you.
Right.
This is a clarion call to all artists, all Calypsonians. When them people work for you, pay them the money. So they would continue working for you. I doesn't have that problem. I don't have that problem.
Kelly, that is nothing. That's nothing.
So in that way, I perform with a peace of mind.
Right.
I'm very comfortable backstage. I'm very comfortable. I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke or anything like that, to go on stage or nothing like that. I be, keep myself hydrated. I might do a few, warm-up exercises backstage, my push-ups, keep myself warm, put on my clothes early so I could get comfortable with it, and I do less talking, to preserve my voice and stuff like that. Basically that, because I won't be nervous, but I think I just be the truth. I make Calypsonians nervous.
But they don't make
Calypsonians don't make me nervous.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Over the years, we've seen or we've experienced a lot of issues with Calypso in Grenada, the ups and downs, and one topic that always comes up is the two associations and the back and forth, and the challenges that Calypso face in Grenada. As one of the seasoned Calypsonians experience all of that, what is your take on all of what is happening in Calypso that is probably not helping the art form to move further fast enough?
Well, you rightly said it, you mentioned the two associations, and I as a tent leader have experienced it firsthand. When I started the tent, Roots Calypso tent, I organized the tent in 2017 to be part of the 2018 Carnival season.
Right.
We had a very successful year. I was the defending monarch at the time. We had a very successful year. Then we came back again. The tent came back again in 2019. We did very well. We brought in an arranger from Trinidad.
Right.
He worked with us. He was a very, very, really, really good arranger. He worked with most of the artists within my tent in 2019.
You mind naming names, Kelly?
Huh?
You mind naming names? Who was the arranger you brought in?
I'm trying to remember his name, and his name is just not coming at the moment.
Yeah.
But he worked with when he must say he worked with other artists as well. He's a really, really good He worked with Messenger that year too. Messenger from Trinidad.
Yeah, Messenger. Yeah.
They came together that year in 2019.
I'm not sure. I don't remember who it was.
We recruited him. Roots Calypso tent. He did a wonderful job. Then COVID came, so 2020 and 2021, no carnival.
Yeah.
In 2022, when I decided to re-establish the tent for the 2022 carnival season, because my tent was not affiliated with any of this organization, because one of the reasons we decided to stay out of the organization is that we know nothing about the organization.
Right.
GCCA, I tried to get some information from GCCA, and information wasn't forthcoming. You understand? I couldn't differentiate. I couldn't even know the differences between the GCCA and the GPAC.
Right.
So I decided, you know what? I don't want my tent to be part of any of these organizations. And because of that, Spice Mass made a decision not to support my tent. No subvention for us.
So you got no subvention?
I got no support. As a matter of fact, they said that there were 5 tents operating in the country, and they only wanted 4 tents. So my tent we received the axe. That's the reason I ended up being a part of the Kaiso Bards.
Okay.
Because Mr. Sylvan Chan wanted to place me in a tent that I did not want to be a part of. They wanted to place me in a tent because, I like to speak plain Godfrey.
Yeah, but of course you're supposed to.
Lady Cheryl came to me with a list, and I saw my name on the list, and she told me that Mr. Chan said, my name was on the list, and she said that's the Calypsonians that will be part of that tent.
So the Calypsonians don't have
I flip one time.
Opportunity to determine.
You know me, I say, well, no, I went from 0 to about 50. I won't say to 100, but and I say, well, no, and then I contacted Scholar, and without hesitation, trust me. Come, because I remember I used to be a part before Roots Calypso tent. I used to be a part of the Kingman tent,
right? Yes,
which was considered a rival tent to the Kaiso Bards tent.
Yeah.
But in spite of that, Scholar had no hesitation. He had, in saying, yes, Roots man, you're welcome. We'd love to have you as part of the tent. And then, I came in the tent, and when I see the way the people receive me in the tent, it was like family, not just the audience, but the management,
right?
And everybody showed me real love in the tent. I can't say anything bad about Kaiso Bards, but because I had the vision before, the vision for Roots Calypso tent, I have a vision for the tent. Hence the reason I decided to go back, and I was encouraged too by people like Soa Sopant and Sheldon Douglas, and everybody was telling me, Roots man, why you don't create an avenue for the artists from St. David's? Let's revamp the tent, and we'll support you. So I decided to rekindle the fire in St. David, and the tent been doing very well. And one of the things that I realized was lacking before was a proper management structure, because I was doing everything on my own.
Yeah.
But if you notice, I put a real strong management structure in place.
Yeah. Mr. Elvis Moore. Yes, Elvis is here.
Mr. Donald Williams, Kerry Williams as well, Debbie, Orlando Noel, and I don't want to leave out anybody, because I can't take no licks tomorrow. But
right, yeah.
And the tent been doing very well. But this year, for 2025, we did a little bit of rebranding. If you notice.
Yes.
So the tent is not called Roots Calypso tent anymore. It's called Kaiso Classic Calypso tent.
Yep.
Because we don't want the spotlight to just be on Roots man and everybody thinking that's.
But we had Elvis and a couple. I think we had a couple Kaisons in the program when you were about to launch a tent.
Yeah.
I think
So one of the things I see really trying to divide us is the two different associations, and I'm making a clarion call, man. It's time that Calypsonians, let's show some form of unity. Unity is strength, I can't see the reason for two different associations or two different sector people representing the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
Let's come together. Let's put aside all the petty differences and let's come together. I know it's all about competition, but at the end of the day, the art form itself is bigger than any competition.
Of course, definitely. But don't you think, I know it was, going back, it was, political issues that brought about all of this thing. Do you think it is still very political, that is sort of keeping people apart, maybe because of affiliation?
I would think it's more of a kind of egoistic kind of thing right now. It may have started out politically, but all of us are Grenadians, so we must make some form of compromise if we want to see the Calypso art form in Grenada to reach on a level that we want it to reach, I'm making a call, for a scholar, and I think who is the head of GPAC, Papa Jerry, the head of the GCCA. Let's find some kind of common ground, I'm willing to be a part of an organization, but it had to be one organization. We would not be a part, our tent would not be a part of nothing that shows some kind of division amongst us as artists.
So let me ask.
Come together and we'll be part of it.
So have you still not gotten support from Spice Mass?
Well, I put people that Spice Mass would have to talk to. They would have to talk to Mr. Elvis Moran.
Right, okay.
I did that on purpose.
Right,
you don't want to talk to me. I'm too humble. I'm too, my face look too bushy or whatever. They won't talk to me. Talk to me. Somebody looking like you, nice and
just flashing locks in the face. When the locks flash all week, I drop it.
So I got people that very familiar with the business. Elvis had been involved in
and he's also been a seasoned judge as well.
He's been a judge. He's a senior public servant.
Yes.
Mr. Donald Williams is a respected financial person in the country.
Yes, indeed.
We used to also have Mr. Ben Snarledge with us. He was also part of the finance team. We had recruit Kerry William. She's a professional marketing person. She studied that in University of Trinidad and Tobago and one of the universities in Trinidad. So I handpicked these people and them. So Spice Mass don't have a choice. You have to talk to us.
Well, of course. No, but this is about Grenada's art form, carnival, whatever is involved. So I don't see why something that has to happen. But
we get food, we get support. Although you hear talk here and there that certain ones didn't want us to get support from Spice Mass, but all in all, we did get support from Spice Mass.
But you are contributing to Spice Mass overall, as a Calypso 10, Calypsonians,
We will continue to get support from Spice Mass.
Excellent. Val, anything else before we start talking legends in concert?
Yeah, well, one is that, so Kelly, outside of, and I don't want to say chasing monarchs because it's competition and there's the monarch and Scholar now has 11, so that's a distance, to run and try to catch him. But what is I think that I can hear that the change from roots to classic, there is a vision for the tent and so on. But what is Kelly's vision in terms of Calypso? What do you see 5-10 years down the road for yourself and Calypso in Grenada?
Well, as I was talking to Godfrey a little bit earlier before the program started, and anytime I say that, a lot of people just get a little bit disappointed when I say that.
But you go here, man, same kind of, and I tell them, same such scholar tell us the same.
There must be some form of transition, I'm thinking about a retirement. Not retirement totally from the art form per se. But I'm thinking of, and mind you, I'm not saying retiring in 2026, right? That's not what I'm saying because, Grenadians have a way of twisting what I rootsman say. So I'm thinking about a retirement, right, from Kaiso at a point in time, because every good dancer must know when to leave the stage, you know, and to make room for others. I would always be involved in the music. I focus a lot more now on arranging, because I was being in the studio by teacher Eddie,
right,
assisting him with a lot of the songs, a lot of the, you know, I work on people's songs and they don't even know.
Right.
A lot of the music, and they don't even know, because sometimes I tell them, don't ever mention my name. You know, apart from the arrangement, I would like to continue composing, but I want to compose not only calypso. You know, I want to spread my genre a little bit more. You know, I want to spread it a little bit more. I want to include, you know, reggae,
right, different types of, right, yeah,
you know, a lot of different. You know, if you notice one of my songs that I did, what I recorded in Venezuela, I did a collab with some of the artists from Venezuela, and it's a kind of crossover. It's not soca. It's, you're hearing the soca in it.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to continue on that kind of trend, like, you know, blending the different genres together as well. You know, right now I have a link where I have an annual show for New York as well. You know, I have an annual show. We started it last year. This year? Last year, December last year.
Yeah.
Right, so, you know, this is in the making as well. You know, I had talk with the promoter just yesterday or day before. You know, we spoke. So that's something I would continue doing for the next, I just say probably 10 years. I don't know, maybe probably. You know, and I have a vision for the tent as well, because the tent is an avenue to train, to develop, to inspire, to motivate upcoming artists.
Right, yes, younger, you know? Younger, yeah.
So whenever you see I make that transition into a pre-retirement, I would be concentrating and focusing heavily on the tent.
Right.
You know, to help the art form to reach at a level.
But you would continue recording and putting songs out there.
Well, hopefully,
just not maybe you know, competition.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, I could probably live with that a little bit.
Yeah. 10 years from now.
Ruth, you are one of those Calypsonians who seem to be conversant on some instrument or instruments, like Eddie, like Ajamo. What is your instruments?
I play the guitar. You know, my main instrument is the guitar, but you know, digital studio nowadays, you don't even have to be able to play an instrument. You just have to be familiar with songs and know what you want to do. Because you could record anything without even. I'm a guitar player, and some of my songs we don't even have the guitar in it. I mean, we do the keyboard guitar, we do the keyboard bass, we do everything off of the keyboard.
Right.
I build the drum pattern from the keyboard. You don't hear live drums, or you don't hear live horns or anything. We record everything from the keyboard, because you have all the different songs, so many different plugins nowadays that you could use to get this song.
To enhance your.
Just have to know the song that you're looking for. You know, but my main instrument is the guitar. I have my guitar home, and I had it home from time immemorial.
Right.
You know, sometimes when I decide to compose, I will take the guitar and start feeling around and, you know, and get a vibe, you know.
No, excellent. It does help. It does help. Right. So we getting ready for, you know, our premier Kaiso event. I like to call it that, the Hubbard's Legends in Concert. Started way back in 2006, and 19 years later we're still here and going strong. This year I think we have Valdi this is the heaviest local cast we've had.
Yes.
I mean, we've had a lot of locals before, but I think this year, very, very heavy. 10 local artists, including Father Paul, who is making waves. I'm hearing so much things about it, and it's really exciting. But Kelly, you will be on together with, of course, some of your colleagues in the art form, the Jerry, Eddie, who you work a lot with, Scholar, Squeezy, a gentleman who's been around for ages, Superstar, she's the defending Independence Monarch, Cox, Smalley's another veteran, and did I miss out anybody? Who else did I miss? Did I miss someone? Well, of course, together with Panther and the Black Prince. Yeah, and the Black Prince. So it is a quite a heavy cast. And we're looking forward to it. But from where you are, Kelly, talk to us about your anticipation of the event and what we can expect from Kelly.
Well, I remember having a conversation with you, and you said to me, Kelly, you bring class to any show. You mentioned that I bring a high standard and a quality, to any show that I perform on, and you can't expect any. As a matter of fact, you can expect more, because before you mentioned to me this evening that some of the artists would be bringing props, I had already planned, and I was hoping that I would be the only one. I was hoping I would be the only one, to really bring it out like a Dimanche Gras.
Right, yeah.
In the costume and, with my props and everything like that.
Real stuff, yes.
I think, well, as I said before, Legend Show has become one of the greatest calypso shows in Grenada. I think shows like Legend attract even some more patrons than the show put on by well, let me don't go further with that.
That's right.
But, Legend is a show that people anticipate. Because the standard does be of a very high quality. Godfrey, was I on the first or the second Legend in Spice Bass? I was on one of the shows before, do you remember that?
There was that probably may have been, was it Masters? I think it was
Masters.
Yes, I think it was the Masters. Yeah,
Masters.
I think it was the Masters. Yes,
it was the Masters of Calypso. Yeah,
I think it was the Masters.
Yeah.
Yes. I think I remember that.
It was Masters of Calypso.
Yeah.
So it's it's a real. I'm happy to be a part of the show. I think I've performed it. I've shared the stage with everybody on the show, probably except Black Prince.
Black Prince, yes.
Except Black Prince, because Pink Panther was here together with Lord Nelson.
Yes, in St. Patrick.
We performed in St. Patrick's together. So all the other persons on the show are my colleagues, my friends.
You never shared the stage with Father Paul yet, man.
When I heard Father Paul, I said, why Godfrey didn't ask me to sing? Singing. I have a song. I have a song basically on Father Jerry, and Father Jerry and I spoke about the song, and he had no ill feelings.
No.
I said to him, I said, Father Jerry, that Kaiso, to watch that, like Kaiso. And he said to me,
he loves Kaiso.
He loved the song, because about the incident, with he and the bishop and thing. And I just decided to put, as a matter of fact, that chorus was in the back of my mind years before the incident took place. So when the incident took place, I said, that's the opportunity that I could use that part and just build on it and make the song. And I defended in 2024 with that song. So I say, why Why Godfrey didn't ask me to sing that song? Father Paul wouldn't mind.
Well, you just might be able to. you just might be able to.
Kidding,
yeah. But of course, people like Smallies and Squeezy in particular. I mean, Calypsonians who've been around forever. I mean, these guys they've paid their dues, and they're still around performing. Smallies is as energetic as ever. Squeezy, same. But how is it for you having to be there with them? I mean, these guys competed way before you got into the March Gras at the senior level and so.
Yeah, well, these are people that I performed with over the years. Smallies and I, Squeezy and I, we've been in the same tent. Squeezy was a part of Roots Calypso tent.
Right. Okay.
And then Smallies and I was part of the Kingman Calypso tent together. So these are people that we are custom performing together. They bring real energy to the stage. I bring something a little bit different. We have mutual respect for each other. I might just gain more titles than them.
Right.
But I think we could say the same level as Calypsonians because we all are mature Calypsonians. Probably going into competition and know what the judge is looking for, so I compose accordingly.
Yes.
But I mean, it's a joy to share stage with men like Smallies and Squeezy, and every other person on the show. It's a real nice cast. Superstar had been a part of our tent as well. A Scholar.
Well, she's the queen of the pack, the only female.
Scholar.
Yes.
I've been in tent with Scholar. Big J.
Big J. Yes.
So they are no strangers to me. They know what to expect from me. And I think I have to know what to expect from them.
Right. And of course we have Cox, young man, basically new, but doing very well. He's been to maybe 2 or 3 March Gras before already. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Cox is a really good singer. He's a charismatic guy as well. And he get involved in the MC as well, which would make him a little bit more popular. And he's a cool guy. People love him. People love to hear him sing. He does have some good songs as well. So I'm looking forward to being a part of the show and with all these guys.
Right. So we have, let's go to the telephone. We have a caller on the line apparently. Kaiso Talk. Good evening. Hello. Kaiso Talk. Good evening. Hello. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening, sir.
I have a question. I'm lost.
Yes. Go ahead.
Why should Father Paul debut in Legend of Calypso? That's my question.
Why is he debuting at Legends in Concert? I think that's what he's asking. Why is Father Paul debuting at Legends in Concert?
He's a legend.
Yes, of course he's a legend. Legends are not just Calypsonians. You have legends in all different forms, and
He's a legend.
yeah, Father Paul, if he wants to debut at Legends in Concert, I think it's an excellent place to debut. I mean, Legends in Concert has earned its place, in promoting the art form. Even if I say so myself, wouldn't you agree, Kelly?
Of course.
Yes, indeed. So we getting ready. Val, anything else you want to ask Kelly before we move on?
Yeah, well, one, I am definitely looking forward to hearing Kelly do his set. I've been following some of his songs, but to see him, I haven't been in Grenada for the 10th season. I probably have seen him once, I think, on stage. But it would be, for me personally, an honor to see him on stage and see him do his set. Right? That's one. I'm aware that in this Legend in Concert, we have, you can say, 2 priests. Right? We have one is Catholic and one former Rastafarian priest. So it means plenty blessings, right? Which is all good. so that we are not short of divine presence and so on this 19th edition of Legends. But I'm definitely looking out for Kelly's set, and of course all the others who are there. But I know he has been doing some really excellent work, and this year, because you have 10 locals, it speaks a lot in terms of how the art form in Grenada has risen, right? And that's really good. I think that Legends always promote the best of Calypso, and the choice of having 10 locals on the show speaks volumes in terms of the quality of work that have been produced over a period of time. So it's really good to see the cast and to hear the wealth of calypsos that are going to be performed come Sunday the 9th. Yeah.
Right. Kelly, one of the things that we heard a lot this year was that the standard, the quality of the music, and we're talking all three, soca, groovy, and calypso. It came in for a high praise in terms of the quality. Your take?
Yeah, I share the same sentiment. This year, well, just look at that, Black Adan. Mm-hmm. Our own local artist is now the international soca monarch. Mm-hmm. So that speaks for itself. That that tells you the level that we're at right now. Mm-hmm. Right. I think something that contributes to that is the emergence of the higher form of technology.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because right now people with the ideas, the musical ideas, could go in the studio and actually put down exactly what they want.
What they want, right?
What they want to hear. The first time I arranged and produced a song was in 2018. That was Thank God. The song was Thank God. I arranged and produced that song in England and came back to Grenada in January of 2017 and won 2 weeks later with that song. That was the very first song that I arranged. So then I took it onto myself and I said, you know what, instead of spending all this money by arranging something, why you don't just try to improve on your skill? Thing like that. So, other people like me with the musical ideas go into the studio and sort of experiment. And once you come up with this great song, there is a youth man in St. David, as you mentioned, the different genre. He named Proper Way. He's a producer, Proper. Mm-hmm. A lot of people only know about Bill the Vibes, who was
Well, I haven't heard of him.
But Proper, he's the guy who arranged the song for Dash last year, and he won the Soca Monarch last year. Okay. And he do some excellent work. Excellent work. Mm-hmm. I don't think he don't even play an instrument. But he's so skilled in terms of producing music. He produced a lot of songs. If you listen to some of the soca artists, you might hear they say Proper Way, and they don't really understand what they mean.
So that's who they're referring to. Okay.
So I just draw in reference to some of the local producers that influence the quality of song that we hear nowadays. Bill the Vibes again. Raw talent.
Yes. It was rather unfortunate his passing.
So as the year go by, we could only build on what we have. From 2018, I did my first production, my first arrangement, and I could definitely hear the improvement in the arrangement from then to now.
Right.
And I think that's the same mindset other producers, other arrangers, local arrangers might have to influence the quality of music that we hear right now.
But Kelly, quickly, and that's probably my last question. In terms of the calypso, which is probably the hardest of the three in terms of composing, because the calypso you need a full story. 3-4 verses, whereas with the soca and groovy, you have a nice hook line and you put a couple lines to that and you go. Calypso is different. You have to build a story with 3-4 verses and deliver deliver. There is the strong message in there. And this year, just going back to the question, this year, we had some great ones. Some great ones. I mean, I recall people like, of course, who didn't even make the final, but people like Prince and Leke and some of the other guys that you hear. I mean, Teacher Eddie, who had two great compositions, Superstar, and they were not able to go on to the final. But nevertheless, the quality of their music was really, really good. And to me, that speaks volume in terms of how much work is being put into structuring and building the work to put it at Carnival time. I mean, and you've done your share of work as well. Do you see that continuing? And I know, for example, some of the Calypsonians, or maybe former people like Mr. X and even Scholar and so yourself, you've also written calypsos for other Calypsonians. So there's a lot being done. So apart from just going and delivering calypso, but there is work being done in the back, writing for other artists to perform. I think this is excellent.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of different type of calypsonians. There are singers of calypso. There are composers of calypso. Mm-hmm. There are singers of calypso, people who other people compose for,
right?
And they do an excellent job, at
delivering. Yes.
So there are others again who are very skilled at composing, but they cannot.
Yeah, they deliver. Yeah, they can't
deliver it. Mm-hmm. But there are others also who compose
and deliver. Yeah, right. Yes.
So it's as I said before, it's teamwork. Sometimes I always think that I should have someone to help me compose, because just to get a different flavor,
Yeah.
But the work have to continue. The work must continue if you want to see calypso on an upward trajectory. Okay. We must continue to do the work, in the studio, in your bedroom, wherever you are. We must continue to do the work, to uplift, help the upcoming artists. You might see somebody that is a little bit weaker in a certain area. Mm-hmm. Freely you have received this gift. Freely give it on to someone else. Mm-hmm. You don't always have to look for the money and sell a song for somebody, and if they don't pay you take them to court or you go on the media and you talk. You could just help somebody if you want to see the art form improve.
Right.
Help somebody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, we basically out of time. Val, any final words or anything you wanna? Any final question for Kelly before we wrap?
Yeah, but that's a good statement he just said. That freely it's given. And pass it on. To let the thing grow. Right, but he mentioned something that I want to probably just take a little poke at and ask him to explain. You mentioned that the guy, I think from St. David, the young producer, probably doesn't play any instrument, but he is very skilled in terms of his computer skill sets and understanding that. In the calypso arena, not only in Grenada, I think in Trinidad, up the islands. Shadow, I remember, was always weary about it. He said it have musicians and have, them fellas and them doing their thing, right? But we are losing, there is a kind of depletion in terms of musicianship. Guys who can actually play. Whether it's the keyboard and the Leston and the Nicholas Brancas and so on, and the Roy who has gone, the Roy Keep and others, in terms of their instrument, trumpets and thing. And now you have guys with a computer and a laptop creating a lot of the music. And they are not necessarily conversant on piano, guitar, bass, or anything. What do you think about that, Rootsman?
as it relates to calypso, right? I want to single out calypso. Being able to play an instrument, being able, to be musically inclined helps a great deal. You will hear it in terms of the melody, the melodic structures within a calypso. It is very important. Well, for the other genres as well, but it is more important, to be able to play an instrument or to be musically inclined when it comes to composing a calypso. Much more so than to build a soca or dancehall or something like that.
Yeah.
Because as you was mentioning, calypso must have a particular structure. There must be a format. Whereas other genre, take dancehall for example, you could start with the chorus. You could start anywhere. You could start at the back of the song. With calypso, you can't start with the chorus.
Yeah.
You start with the verse. You go into the chorus, band chorus, verse, outro. All right. So it's very important that you know a little bit of music.
For the calypso.
For calypso, it helps a lot. I could listen to a song and know definitely whether the arranger or the producer know anything about music. Whether he know music or he's just a guy with a computer. You could hear it. In terms of soca is a different. It's like a stubborn like a child.
Yeah.
That
you have a hook line and you're gone.
And you're gone.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. But in terms of calypso, I think it's so important that we know music.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Kelly, thank you so very much. Any final words you want to leave with our listeners and viewers?
So you come out to the show. Remember, November 9th, Grenada Trade Center. Rootsman will be there. I know I have lots of fans.
Yes,
I know I have lots of fans. People just come out to hear me sing. I'm looking forward to seeing all my fans in front. When I see all you, that's when I'll put on the best show.
That's where you're
bad. That's where I get bad. When I see people like Lyndon and Tessa Barry and
yes,
and all of you in the front row, make me feel happy. So come out, the show will be a bumper show. Scholar always put on a really great show. We have Pink Panther and
Black
Prince from Trinidad. We have our own queen here, Superstar.
Yes.
Another well-loved calypsonian in Grenada is Big J.
Oh yes, indeed. Yes.
So I think the show would be an excellent show. I think the quality, the venue, the ambience would be so nice because everything, the band. And I know Godfrey bringing up some brass men from Trinidad.
Yeah, the entire brass side is from Trinidad. The entire brass side. We ain't playing with that. We ain't playing with that. We don't play with that.
So come out, the show would be nice. The ladies like to dress up real nice for that show. So men, don't disappoint. Come out and support the ladies. You might be lucky.
Yeah, definitely. Kelly, thank you so very much for taking the time and actually being in studio with me, because I know coming all the way from St. David to be in studio, we really appreciate it. So we thank you again, and we're looking forward to seeing you perform come November 9th at the Trade Center. Thank you very much for all of this.
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Val, your final anything before we go?
Well, I know that once again, Legends is knocking on the door. The concert is right around the corner. We are building. We're ready. You have this chance, this opportunity to witness one of the best concerts ever put on in Grenada. People, I can hear from Kelly, they're preparing to even work with props, serious thing. But it's going to be another fantastic show. The ambience in Legends is always so wonderful. It's a party. It's a kind of, well, not a picnic, but there is so many aspects to Legend that one just has to be there to understand it. And this 19th, which is the forerunner to the 20th anniversary, so it's setting a kind of pace a marker for the 20th. It's going to be really a wonderful concert. 10 locals, supported by two from Trinidad and Tobago. One who has never been at a Legends in concert before, and of course musicians who came up last year and who are coming again to supplement the band. Really a great show. So that I am ready and eager to touch down and see another wonderful concert. That I told Kelly I have not seen him perform 4 or 5 songs, so that it would be a pleasure to witness him on stage and see his charismatic movement and so on. And hear how well the audience would appreciate his work. So, hats off. Thanks for joining us on this interview. The last time we tried to have you, it didn't work out too well, but it's good that you're able to come and sit in studio and have this wonderful conversation with us. We have learned so much this evening. There are a lot of people probably in Grenada who did not understand Kelly in terms of his Rastafarian background, how much of a spiritual guide he has been, and how that has influenced his music so tremendously. So we thank you for all that insight this evening. And of course, we look forward to your performance on Sunday the night. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you guys very much, Val, Kelly. Thank you very much for coming in again. And we're looking forward to a wonderful event come November 9th. Yeah? So get ready, folks. As I told you, we have one more surprise, but I'm not at liberty. You just have to be there. All right? So until then, hey, take good care. And if you have not gotten your tickets yet, you need to get it now. All right? I told you we've had to replenish 12 of the outlets already. So hurry, don't waste time. Get your tickets and get ready for the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends and Concert. Have a good night. All the best.
He was a voice.